And we are back. I'm still muting. Go. Yep. All right. Testing right now. Okay, we're good. All right, guys, we are back. I'm sorry about that. After a long break from doing this week to week, it seems like we got to kind of get everything out of the way. But hopefully, we don't have any more technical issues the rest of the night, especially when we're interviewing our guys. I know I was talking about the playoff format. Jordan Jurassic reminded me, it seems like in the chat, that we were talking about the big change in our playoff format, especially on our truck series on Monday and Friday nights. We've got two different formats we're going to kind of play out. We're going to try uh, each one. They're going to be similar but different. We're going to try to roll those out, and like I was going to explain is, instead of racing 20 to 24 different drivers for the first 3 weeks, you'll be in groups of six. So your seating will depend on your playoff points, obviously how we do things, and other things of that nature. And then I kind of touched on tonight's show is going to be mainly about the six guys that's fighting for a championship. It's going to be all about the Concerns of Police Survivors Truck Series. I know Mondays we just kicked off season five. Man, those seasons are flying by. But we just got done with Speed Weeks in Daytona Week One. It was a great race. Lucas Lyons wins that race for Warrior Racing Esports. Then Blanchard's Towing Xfinity Series, they are have a cutoff race for their first round of the playoffs. So we will find out the round of 12 for that series next Tuesday night at Richmond Raceway. It's going to be a great race. We've been seeing a lot of exciting racing in that series. Our new series, the Cup series that rotates with the Gen 4, Gen 6, and Next Gen Cup cars, they are about 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks away from starting their playoff format. And of course, like I said, tonight's all about the Concerns of Police Survivors Truck Series. Season 10 next season. Who would have thought 2019 to 2020 we'd be here now with four series. The big Nazareth 500 race that's going to be taking place February 3rd to 8th. I know Wesley and Jacob and Dean's been blasting it all over our broadcasts 4 nights a week. So, with us. And we also want to give a shout out to Goat Locker Racing. I know we don't broadcast for them no more on Thursday night, but we appreciate that partnership. Maybe there's something we can do in the future with those guys again, but unfortunately, their schedule and our schedules just doesn't line up. Maybe that's going to open up a door for a fifth series here at Nazareth. We've been talking about different things of doing things to kind of accommodate some other drivers in our series and our league. So, and maybe we might just designate it for the Hot Lot podcast to where we do this every Thursday night, Cody and I, until Tyler gets back, and maybe have a couple of guests on each week. And get back to our normal routine, how we, kind of took a break from the holidays and spent that time with family and whatnot. So, for tonight, it's all going to be about our drivers and Championship Six. We'll touch on a couple of things in the series later on. We'll have some NASCAR news. We like to touch on NASCAR every now and then. And some big news coming out these past couple of days with Junior Motorsports, Martin Truex Jr., just to name a few things. So we'll touch on that as the show goes on. In this first group, we're going to have Matt Cherry, driver number 45 for Mission 1 Esports. We'll have Chris Blanchard for Upfront Motorsports in the number 9 machine. So two new names. The second group will follow up with Matthew David Wood, I believe, and Jordan Jurassic. We'll get to those guys, and then our last group will be Ryan Johnson and Tristan Bruce. So we'll have time to talk to everybody. We're kind of trying to line everybody's schedules up. I know it was kind of last minute for these guys. A lot of them, I know we're gonna have. I'm looking down the list, and none of them were a champion of any sort in Nazareth. So we're going to have a brand new champion, especially in this series. Uh, Jeff Merckx no longer in the championship. He got knocked out the playoffs. Keith Bradley, to name a few guys of past champions that I believe. So yeah, we're going to have a brand new champion for this Concerns of Police Survivors. So without further ado, I know we're right here on the the 9:15 mark, Cody. So let's bring in Matt Cherry and Chris Blanchard, and we'll get right to their interviews. Chris, you got a copy? Copy?
I got you.
Okay, I can.
Yeah, he lagging a little bit.
What about now, Matt?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. You was just
Okay.
fading out there at the beginning.
All right. All right. Well. First off, welcome to the Championship Six, Matt. I know you are brand new to this series. This is your first season racing on Friday nights with us. Chris, you've been here since season three, I believe.
Uh, Pretty close to that, I think.
Yeah, I believe it's season three. So a veteran. Never made it to the Championship Six. So first off, congratulations.
Thank you.
And And Matt, I'm going to start with you because I know Chris. Well, yeah, this question is going to go for both Matt, Chris, and Matt. I'll start off with you to answer it first, if you don't mind. Uh, but tell me a little bit about your season. Touch on the ups, the downs. The progression, what it was like to kind of go through the playoffs and get to this point. So kind of, tell me about the highlight of your season. Kind of touch base on that, some of the lows, some of the things you've had to kind of I guess overcome in order to make this championship six because it's very tough, especially on Friday nights.
Oh yeah, most definitely. We just early on in the season we had a bit of a struggle. I wasn't so sure that I was going to do very well over here. When we first started out, we was getting crashed a lot, and my season really didn't turn around until I think it was Chicagoland when me and Wood finished 1-2. And, just after that, we just kind of packed some momentum into the races. When I was going to tracks that really suited me really well, and but it's racing. You can't win them all and you can't finish them all. But yeah, man, I'm surprised I made it this far because there's a lot of good talent over here, and there's a lot of faster guys over here that probably deserve to be here more than I do. But I'm gonna go in tomorrow night, and I'm gonna give it my all. I'm gonna take care of my stuff, but we're starting in the rear, and we're definitely gonna have to get to the front.
And Chris?
My season's been pretty steady. This is the first season I've actually haven't missed a race. So all the other seasons I've made the playoffs, but normally I miss a race in the playoffs, and it loses my drive. I have the issue that I have that I've been working on this season is staying up on the wheel all the time, finishing a race, staying up on the wheel. Like Matt said, there's probably 10 drivers in this series on Friday night that are way faster than me, and I'm lucky to be in the Champ Six. I just held my own, tried to practice a lot. Like right now, I'm doing a Dega race as we speak. So just to get my confidence up more and more and being able to stay up on the wheel and contend with the guys in the Champ Six tomorrow night.
Absolutely. And we'll go through some stats here in a little bit, but first, Matt, you race with these guys for, like I said earlier, 27 to 28 weeks. Um, what is it like, when you get to this point, you're going into tomorrow night, you're gonna be racing against people, I didn't even touch on it, but almost all of y'all, coming off of a short track week, every single one of y'all except for Jordan Jurassic doesn't, or you're not able to qualify. That is, so all of y'all are going to be starting in the back with EOLs. So what's it going to be like, when you get to this point and you're racing against people that's not fighting for a championship, but then again, you got to worry about everybody else around you who is fighting for a championship. You don't have to win the race. You just got to beat all the other five guys. But, are you worried or concerned about the guys that you're not necessarily racing with for a championship?
Most definitely. I mean, I hadn't really come up with a strategy yet. I mean, I'd like to, say stage one, whenever it gets close to coming to an end, maybe pit with two to go before pit road closes. That way we can kind of jump the field and hopefully we can make some ground up that way. But I really don't know.
Absolutely. And Chris, how do you feel about that?
Luckily I've ridden with the guys in the back quite a bit this season, because my qualifying efforts kind of suck. But you just gotta you're you're running through your head. Who'd you piss off this year? Who's gonna who do I have to tiptoe around? And hopefully the guys that we got to go up through the field um, play nice and we're able to, like Matt said, track position at the end, and tires are gonna come play into it if fuel doesn't.
Absolutely. Well, Matt, I'm looking here. You don't have a win this season. You got an average starting spot of 15.8, an average finish of 15.7. Your playoff results are great. I mean, you got stage points a lot of times, and your average finish these last five races is right there at 8.9. So, what was it like to kind of go through this final round whenever the points reset for you top 10 guys? Everybody's back to an even playing field. They're all at 2,000 points. You got to go through, uh, you know, Dover, which is not the easiest track for everybody. Then we go to Talladega, which is the big unknown, and you got to race there because it's right in the middle of this round. And then we go to Nashville Fairgrounds, a track that doesn't even have a fixed setup. We've got to, get a setup made for that. So just tell us a little bit about the round, this past round, going from 10 to 6 drivers and how tough it was.
Oh yeah, we went into Dover, man. I've It's been a pretty bad track for me for the last 12 years, and I actually enjoyed running there because I was pretty quick. I mean, I wasn't the fastest guy out there, but I was able to keep pace and not lose tons of time. But yeah, man, it's been a long road for me here.
Absolutely. And Chris, your stats were kind of similar. A 16.8 average start, 16.9 average finish, but this last round you progressed and you knocked off a couple of top five finishes. We've seen you run Darlington. You were battling for the win. You end up, because of an admin fault, uh, copying and pasting a session from another league that didn't have green white checkers installed in it. We allow Brian Chew to win that race due to technicality, and then the following week before Nashville, we decide to run a shootout to install the three green white checkers, and you end up winning the shootout in order to advance into the championship six. But at Nashville, we saw you battling top three there until you got caught up in an incident. So, uh, I mean, a great round for you, but you win the shootout. Kind of touch base on that a little bit as you kind of went through that week.
Well, when we started the season, I was like I saw the schedule and I was like I just need to make it to Talladega. Um, I'm really good at super speedways, and I just needed to make it to the round of 10. So I was on the outside looking in at Darlington, so I practiced all week. I've had some extra time on my hands per se, so I've been doing a lot of practicing. So I practice at Darlington, was able to have a solid run to get into the round of 10, where everybody, like you said, the points came back to 0. I just needed to get it back to 0 and get into the round of 10, and I was able to do that. So I held my own at Dover and had a decent run, and then Talladega, the first race that we did, I was I was in 4th place when the checkered flag come out. So I got to start in 4th on the green white checkered, the shootout that we had, and I was going for it all. I wanted to win. I needed to win, and I did that. And I locked myself in the round of 6, and then when we went to Nashville, I was I was quick. I was in the top 5, and I was going for that win. Yes, I was locked in. I know I raced some guys hard, but a win is hard for me to come by. And if I'm in a chance to do that, and I'm gonna take it no matter what. I'm not gonna wreck anybody, but a win is a win. Me and Matt, neither Matt or I have one this year, so
Absolutely. And even though the, win doesn't necessarily go get credited to you, like I said, you still win the shootout. Um, and I mean, it was unique. It's something that's never happened in Nazareth before. We felt like it was the right thing to do. And like I said, both of y'all deserve to be here. So now we get down to the tough questions, Matt. So first, you're going to answer, and then Chris is going to go second. So you can't pick yourself. You have to pick one of your 5 competitors. And you have to pick somebody that you would like to see win it, the championship that is, and you have to pick somebody that you just hope does not win it at all. So Matt, you get to go first, and then Chris, you'll get to follow.
Who I would like to see win it is MDW. Who I don't want to see it win it is Tristan Bruce.
I figured whenever I was asking that question, that's why I kind of paused because there was a little beef from last week with you and Bruce, so I can understand that picking a teammate. They only pair of teammates in this championship 6 from Mission One Esports, so I can understand picking MDW a teammate, and then the beef. Chris, you go next. You get to pick one you want and pick one you don't want to see.
I'm gonna say MDW also. Um, he's been the cleanest driver. I think him and Matt Cherry have been um, straightforward, especially with me around them. They've raced me clean and respectful, and either one of them deserve it. And the person, the Tristan Bruce. Now, I I don't think he's not ready to be a champion yet.
Okay, well, I got our producer Cody Knott. He's going to be getting a notepad and everything and writing this down, Cody. So we're gonna keep track of this. This is a question, that we kind of ask all our drivers when we get to this point to kind of see where everybody's heads are. Possibly could see some, door banging like Jacob Reeves gets to call it, and some people that like to, you kind of see who guys are friends with and who, there's the respect level that is. So yeah, I mean, you get to see a little bit of everything on tonight's show. Matt, the next question I would have for you, what is it going to take? And like I said before, you don't have to win the race. Keith Bradley could win the race. Jeff Merck could win the race. Cody Knott could win the race. And Huck Wigginton, for that matter. I mean, anybody could win the race. You don't have to win it. So, you know, just trying to beat your other 5 competitors, what is it going to take in order for Matt Cherry to be there at the end doing burnouts and claiming the championship?
A lot of talent and a lot of speed. I mean, I'm good at these mile-and-a-half tracks. I don't really know where everybody else stacks up at these places, but I'm gonna focus really hard on taking care of my stuff. I don't I don't really learn much practicing by myself, I don't really learn until like I get on track with the other guys that I'm racing. So that hour of practice, the hour and a half practice that we have, that's when I'm doing my learning on what I need to do.
And Chris?
I'm the same way as Matt. I need a rabbit. I need somebody to chase. So if I could sit in a test session at Atlanta, I mean at Charlotte, and practice, but I'm not learning anything because I'm not. I need I need that rabbit to chase. So I'll I ran some officials in Atlanta. I ran a couple C.O.P.S. I know the tracks are different, but just tire management is going to be a big factor tomorrow night. So I've been doing some officials to work on my tire management, and then tomorrow night when I get into the session, that's when I'll definitely practice and see what the competition is.
Absolutely. And for the viewers at home, in our Discord, our little, where the drivers get to see all the updated points, the payouts on a weekly basis, the race details and whatnot, everything that kind of involves the series and the league for that matter, all the information you need. We're in this little, kind of network thing. It's called Discord, and the race details are not out. So nobody really knows going into it. Nobody has so much of an advantage. They can go on there and practice Charlotte, but they don't know if it's a day race or a night race. We won't announce that till tomorrow afternoon. So the drivers won't have any idea. And even though they can practice and whatnot, they won't know the track state. It's random generated through iRacing server whenever practice opens up at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. So, but yeah, definitely get practice in. Speaking of that, Matt, how many laps have you ran at Charlotte this week?
Zero. I have yet to turn a lap. I've been doing a lot of painting cars here the last couple of days, so I hadn't really had time to get behind the wheel.
Okay, okay, interesting. And Chris, well, you know, we're talking about running laps. Matt, have you raced at all this week though? Besides Monday, like after Monday, have you just ran some laps or you just been busy painting?
I ran the race Monday at Daytona, which is I think I crashed out of it, and then I ran a race Tuesday at Homestead in the Cup car, but that was the last time, and I crashed out of that race too.
No, Matt, I mean, Chris, you touched on running Atlanta, but have you ran any laps at Charlotte, or have you been racing every single night and kind of getting ready and preparing for this?
I haven't run any laps at Charlotte. Like you said, the setup's not there yet, so I don't want to get false hope and practice that way. But I've run a couple Atlanta Opens in the trucks, and I've run probably 12. I know it's different, but I'll explain it in a minute. I've run 12 Talladega races today, and what that does is that hones my skills into being in close, confinements, running three wide, stuff like that, putting my truck in a position where I normally don't do that. For tomorrow night when I'm racing, I'll have more control over the truck because my eye hand coordination is, you know, better than it was a week ago not racing. If you don't race anything and you jump in a session, you're not going to be as good as you were the week before. So you got to keep your eye hand coordination um, sharp, especially at my age. I'm 45 years old. Matt, how old are you?
I am 36.
36. So he's got 10 years on me. So there's a big difference on his reaction time and my reaction time. So it takes me more practice to be on the level that he's at.
Yeah, and absolutely. And I mean, wait till we get Matthew David Wood in here, who just turned 16. So he's got you got about 30 years on him, Chris. Uh, so yeah. Well, look, guys, I appreciate both of y'all coming out tonight. Chris, I know You got PGR that's coming up on Thursday night. Also, shout out to our friends at PGR. They're also putting on a 500 the week before us. So I would encourage anybody to go run with those guys the week before and then come in and run with us. We're trying to make both events successful. So uh, before I let you guys go, one by one, we'll keep going with Matt, then Chris. But this is your time to have the floor. Thank your sponsors, your team. If this speech takes 5 minutes, it takes 5 minutes, but this is for you guys to have your time. I don't think people realize how long this goes on. I mean, 6 months of racing with the same people and doing this week in and week out, never stopping. I know we got a couple of weeks or we got maybe a week kind of in between to give us a break, but for the most part, I mean, it's grueling. It's tough. I can't even explain, even as a past champion, how hard it is to win these things. But you both have an opportunity, one in a six shot to win it. So Matt, here's your time to shine, man. Thank whoever you want to, or say whatever you want to for that matter.
Oh yeah, most definitely. First off, want to give a big thanks to you and the guys that put this together. I mean, y'all got a really good thing going over here. You know, I enjoy racing here every every day of the week almost, and you know, it's a long time to come, and I still I still plan on running several seasons here as long as I'm living. But yeah, I do want to clear the air on one thing between me and three truck last week. You know, I was on my road for my first victory here, and you know, I was never really given the chance to even make the corner. You know, I don't race like that, and I don't think anybody should race like that unless there's like $2 million on the line. But you know, if it comes down to it, and I have a chance to race like that, I'm not gonna send him off into the corner like he did me, but I will rough him up. But yeah, that's all I got to say about that.
Good deal. Well, best of luck to you, Matt. Obviously, you know, we wish all of y'all, the best of luck and hope one of y'all win it. Chris, this is your time. Go ahead and thank, you have the floor just like Matt did. So whatever you would like to say, please do it now.
Well, I want to thank my teammates, Jeff Merck, Stephen Gregory, Robbie Richards, and myself. Um, um, I don't know if you guys know this, but tomorrow night is the last night that Upfront Motorsports is going to field a team on Friday nights. Next season, I'm going to go race with Jeff Merck on his team. So I'm going to step back from an ownership role and go into a driver role so I can focus even more. Those guys in my ears every week push me to, better myself. I talk to Keith Bradley on a daily basis, and he pushes me to be better, as I hope I push him to be better, and the guys that I'm around. Joey Doucette, he doesn't race with us anymore, but I talk to him on a regular basis. I do some racing with him, just to learn different styles of racing and the way different people think, and you take it all together and you make your racing style. And all these guys help me be better. Um, you know, last week at Nashville, there was a late caution. I took some tires and I was going quite fast. I put Stephen Thomas 3 wide. He really didn't like that. Um, but I was going for a win, and I don't have the opportunity to win very often. Hopefully next year I do, but when that opportunity comes, I got to take it without trying to wreck anybody, and I didn't do that on purpose. If he thinks that, But him, I was his teammate a few years ago, and he pushed me, and seeing these guys get better. When I started in season 3, you could start in the back, you could not qualify, and you could drive up deep into the top 10 and finish the race that way. If you start in the back now and you're not up on the wheel, you're not getting into the top 10. The strength of field that we have now in the Huck Wigginton's and the Raul Mezers and the Jose's, they're all better. Everybody that races in this league on Friday night is making everybody better. You know, the wrecking people at the end of the race on the last lap to get the win. Don't do that. Like, if you can't win in a clean fashion, then take second and move on to the next week. Just don't be that guy that's gonna, wreck your mom to win a championship, or wreck your mom to win this race because you're gonna get it taken away. And just race everybody clean. If you can't pass them, finish where you're at. Just move on to the next week.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Chris. I appreciate Matt Matt Cherry. That is number 45 in this series. He changes his number on me. I was about to say 54, but he's 45 on Friday nights for Mission One Esports. Chris Blanchard, number 9 for Upfront Motorsports. Man, I wish y'all both the best of luck tomorrow night. Like I said, I don't have a dog in this fight, so hopefully, it's just a great race to watch. Hopefully, we see, like I said, all you guys in the back come up to the front. There might be strategy involved, might not be. It might be a fuel mileage race. Who knows? It just depends on how it falls. All I know is there will be 150 laps, and a lot of times we don't do that at mile and a half. So I know we did it at Darlington, but it's not a true mile and a half track. So it's going to be a long race. Stages will be involved, so who knows what tomorrow night's going to bring. But hopefully it's a great race, and hopefully you guys have a great turnout. And congratulations for making it this far. And I'll go give them a great showing tomorrow night.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Hopefully it's hot, slick.
Brady,
Go ahead.
remember 9-9. I called it like 4 weeks ago.
Well, good deal. Well, y'all have a great night, and we'll see y'all tomorrow.
Later.
And that was Matt Cherry and Chris Blanchard. Our first group of our championship 6 drivers. It's good to see a lot of different faces, and I say that with all due respect. But I know there was some guys that had some, weeks that came up around the holidays, and it kind of, messed with their playoffs. We have starting parks. We try our best to accommodate everybody. But these 6 drivers do deserve to be here. They, for the most part, a lot of them you saw up front most of the season. But before we get to our next group, which Jordan and Matthew are in the transfer room, but before we get to them, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Starbase 1552 Comics. We sell everything a collector would want. Comics, Funkos, action figures, and so many more. A real American comic book shop. We are online only. Starbase 1552 Comics. Find us on eBay Auctions.
Murph's Magical Creations. Home to custom laser engraving and gifts. This veteran-owned and operated company engraves for all occasions. If you want one of Murph's Magical Creations, call the number on your screen or commission through either Instagram or via email. Murph's Magical Creations, made with love for you.